I'm never not working on material. Every second of my existence, I'm thinking, could I do something with that?
That to me sounds torturous.
It's like going into the gym every day.
It's hard.
You know how you walk in every day and you go, oh, geez, I got to do this again.
Yeah, it sounds like a tortured life. And you say
It is.
not, but
It is. But you know what? Your blessing in life is when you find the torture you're comfortable with.
Do you know what's really interesting? I think the difference between you and the competition, between you and where you want to be, it kind of can come down to one thing. Like, really, I've thought about this for 25 years. And it kind of comes down to one thing. There are a bunch of other little things, but the main thing, let's say, that the main one thing that it comes down to. Do you work even when you don't feel like it? Do you do what's on your to-do list? That's really it. And do you do it, I should add, do you do it with intensity and passion? Do you do it whether you feel like it or not? Isn't that crazy? Like, if you think about what you want to be, what you want to do in life, what you want to become, the type of player you want to become, the type of student, the type of businessman, whatever your career or your field is, it comes down to, do you work out? Do you do the work when you don't feel like it? Do you still push yourself? Do you still show up and do the work? Are to-do lists just kind of suggestions to you? Or is your to-do list like an ironclad promise you've made to yourself? This quote from Jerry Seinfeld is exactly right. You find the thing that you're tortured by. And listen, a lot of days you wake up, you're going to be excited. Not every single day is torture. But you become obsessed. You become obsessed by the thing that tortures you. It sounds not great. Howard Stern doesn't understand it, but of course, that moron doesn't understand a lot of things. But essentially, the thing that tortures you becomes the thing you're in a relationship with, and you love it. Because it's a magical time. When the more you push yourself, human beings like to be pushed. They hate to start things they don't feel like doing, but once they do the thing they didn't feel like doing, you get like this confidence. You get this feeling of, I'm a little different than other people. And that feels good. It makes you feel as if you can do anything. You know the secret. It's like work out regardless of what you feel, and you eventually get into it. I mean, there are days when I was taking my neuroscience classes, neuroanatomy, for instance, especially as in the lead up to the final, and I just didn't want to study. It was so much work. Sometimes you can have so much to do, it makes you want to stop and not do it. But you know what I did? I studied anyways. And the things we love, they sort of torture us. And then we become obsessed by it because it's just what we love to do. You love to play a sport. You love your business. You love to write. You love your career. And you want to be so good at it that even though it's a bit torturous, it kind of dominates your psyche. You're thinking about it all the time. You want to get better every day. And there are days you wake up and you don't want to do it. What do you do on those days? A lot of people put it off. They put it off, and eventually you put one day off, turns into 2, turns into 3, and then you know what happens? You get a little spurt, and then you get rededicated, but then you fall off again for a few weeks, a few days, then you get dedicated, you watch a video, you say, you know what, now I'm going to do it different. If there's one piece of advice I could give to you, it's this. When you put something on your to-do list, when you put it down there, it's like a vow you've taken. I will do this thing on my to-do list. That's it. Hell or high water, you're doing the thing on your to-do list. I think that's the one thing that separates people who succeed from people who don't. People who achieve their goals from people who don't. Do you do the thing you don't want to do? One of my favorite quotes came from Stan Kellner. And the quote was, do the thing that is hard to do and the power will come. I think about that quote quite frequently. Stan Kellner is kind of the godfather of basketball psychology. And he was running a marathon. He started chanting, do the thing that is hard to do and the power will come. And as he did this, he broke through the barrier of he hit the wall in the marathon. He broke through it and was able to finish with more energy. You have to, at a certain point, like when cattle won't move, they give them a cattle prod. They shock them. You got to almost cattle prod yourself. You have to drag yourself. If your kid doesn't want to go to school, you probably were one of those kids. I know I was when I was little. Parents, what do? They drag you to school. You got to go. If they hadn't dragged you to school, you'd be not a high school dropout, you'd be an elementary school dropout. Let's be honest. But you know what happens once you go to school? You eventually find friends and you start to like it. And maybe you don't love classes. That's another conversation, but you have to grab yourself by the collar and drag yourself into the gym. You wake up and you're like, I just want to watch Netflix. No, don't do that. Be an adult. Do what you have on your to-do list in the order you have it down. Force yourself. Force yourself to do it. If you're really obsessed, you're going to be thinking about it anyways. That's the talk for today. Frog march yourself into your to-do list. When it's on your to-do list, finish it. And make sure that you rank your to-do list so you do the most important crap first. And sometimes, a lot of the time, the most important crap is the stuff you really don't feel like doing. So what? In the Killer Instinct program, I had a talk called, pardon my language, F your feelings. I won't say the F word, but you know what I'm saying. F your feelings. Work anyway. I talked to a professional athlete. I talked to a lot of professional athletes. They say about 50% of the days they don't feel like working out, but the great ones work out. They don't just work out lackadaisically. They work out with intensity, with focus. You force yourself. You force yourself. The definition of sloth, sloth, one of the 7 deadly sins. Yeah, it's being lazy and lethargic, but it means something more than that. It means being not focused, going through the motions. So you don't want to do that. If you force yourself to do what's on your list, okay, and you do it with intensity and focus, even if you don't feel like it, I think that's the one thing that separates good from great. Separates you from where you are now to what you want to be. This is Dylan from Basketball Brain. Please like, subscribe. Also check out boingvert.com. If you buy Boing Vert, you get Basketball Brain included free. Peace.